what can HR leaders do to help their organizations for the future, as uncertain as it is, where there will likely be an increase in remote and hybrid working, and maybe there's some network analytics angle to that, perhaps?
Yeah, I do think it is. I mean, obviously there are other aspects to the people analytics, I think, that's relevant, but yeah, we're so much focused on the network analytics usefulness right now. That's kind of what's top of my mind, and that's what I've been talking to most clients about. I mean, we've had tremendous interest through this kind of working from home period because it's made looking for any other way to kind of touch base with our employees and also doing it very, very quickly, that's been important to companies. And so they feel that you can't wait to let's design a new survey and set up a new survey tool and get all that in place, and in 4 weeks time we can roll that out, where obviously you can put Panalyt in place to do this basic level of analytics. We can get going in 1 to 2 weeks, and then you're seeing the data in real time. So the most important thing I think that companies can do from this perspective is to get that data into the hands of managers and make sure they do understand how to use it, and that you're getting that real-time feedback from managers is, if I could just see it like this, if I could just see it like that, this would be more useful to me, less useful to me. I think empowering managers with more information about their employees, particularly what's come up on a very practical basis, is time shifting. So the aspect of where we had a lot of companies feeling their managers were feeling, and it definitely a feeling, that their employees were not working as hard, were not as available online, weren't coming to meetings as much, or were kind of arriving late, leaving early to online meetings. And by looking at the O&A data, you were able to see that the actual total amount of activity, digital activity, was completely the same. It just, people were shifting that from kind of the 9 a.m. to 4, 5 p.m. period. Activity was really reducing because a lot of people are looking after their kids or other dependents, and then getting back to work sort of after 5, 6 o'clock. And so there was a real time shift that, on a practical basis, once managers understood this about their teams, they could start to shift when one-on-ones were happening, start to shift their stand-ups, their team meetings, and when they expected to hear back from their people. And for good managers, it just kind of reset their expectations, and the manager adjusted and carried on, supporting their team. So I think having that kind of really simple, practical data in front of managers, I think, is really valuable. I think the other thing we're hearing is, yes, companies trying to run a lot more pulse surveys, and I suppose this isn't anything to do with Panalyt, but I've run so many of these things in the past. I end up consulting with most of our clients around how to set up a pulse survey well. And I think Uber was one of the best companies I've ever seen at running a really frequent, really actionable pulse survey. But then I think what the power of it is going to be that having the pulse survey results in real time, or real time, getting the survey result and getting it analyzed instantly, and running that beside the O&A data, because we can measure engagement or activity and network behavior as a proxy of engagement together with the survey. And what I think is incredibly interesting is when the survey says that someone or a team is super engaged, but the O&A data is showing that they are not connecting and they are not talking as much as they used to. So is the survey wrong? Is the O&A data giving you a misleading answer? I think it's actually that the two things are measuring two different points, and the fact that they are disagreeing is telling you something really, really interesting. It depends on what the questions are in the survey. But I think there's something that you learned from having both the subjective and the objective data together.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice, and also via our YouTube channel, for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.